Hello, everybody. Welcome to Faces of Maryland Tourism, brought to you by the Maryland Tourism Coalition. I'm your host, Chris Reel. And today my guest is Dara Jefferson. 5 years ago, at the age of 25, Dara took a part-time job as a hostess at Lib's Grill in Perry Hall, and today she is the general manager, responsible for the operation of a $3.75 million restaurant and a staff of more than 20. And her story is a perfect example of the kinds of opportunities that Maryland's tourism and hospitality industry can provide. I'm very happy she's able to take a little bit of time from her busy schedule to talk with me today from the airport. Hi, Dara. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Of course. I'm excited.
Yeah, great. I wanted to ask you first, just to tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started at Libs and how you ended up where you are today.
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, I applied for a part-time hostess position with Libs. So I would get off of my 9 to 5, hop on 95, and get up to Baltimore County to get to Libs, and typically work a 6 to close shift or something like that. So I'd say maybe a year went by or so of doing that, and one of the managers came to me about bringing me and involving me into the company more. So I transitioned from a hostess into a part-time manager, kind of still working the same schedule. And it became a struggle for me. I really loved, again, being at Libs and the associates and the staff, and just that environment. And I was learning a lot. So I made the decision to join Libs full-time. And I'd say within about a year and a half after coming full-time into the management position is when I was promoted to the GM.
So what's the best part about your job today?
It is the guests that join us and the staff. I think our staff is composed of a bunch of different people, different ages, everybody kind of in different parts of their life, which I enjoy, but we all get together, we work together very well. The communication is there. And the guests that join us, sometimes I see the same faces twice a day. They're joining us for lunch, they're joining us for dinner. So it's great to start developing the relationships with the guests that come in, and even our guests that are traveling through.
So the interaction with the guests is a very important part of the job.
Yes.
What are some other skills that you've sort of learned on the job or you've been able to acquire through your experience there?
On a personal level, it taught me to grow up. I was 25, so still kind of young coming into the business, and I think the restaurant kind of helped me to grow a little bit in professionalism and just learning to deal with people on a daily basis. I strongly believe that different people require different responses, and I've learned that over the years with just working on my personal skills, my interpersonal skills with people.
Absolutely. What about Lib's involvement in the community? I see on the website that there is a lot of community involvement out there in Perry Hall and in the other locations as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so both of our locations have partnered with a foundation called Building for God. And this foundation throughout the pandemic was helping to supply meals for frontline workers. So we had partnered with them, different hospitals within the Baltimore County as well as the Howard County area. We were partnering with creating meals and delivering to them. At one point, it was about once a week. We also have we were doing wine dinners in person prior to the pandemic, and we actually converted that into a curbside event. So we'll do 5-course dinners to go, but we have partnered with just different charities. We've done one with the ARC of, it was the Northern Chesapeake region, as well as the one in Howard County, Pathfinders for Autism. So once we do these wine dinners, we do a certain donation that'll be tied with that. It could be $10 a ticket or a certain percentage of sales. And just kind of being open and being there for the community. The Perry Hall location is inside of a neighborhood, basically surrounded by homes, just that shopping center. So it was actually very rewarding for those who were still supporting us during the pandemic, but we also felt like we were there for them and just something that they were used to, and being able to still have that little bit of normalcy when they were coming to the restaurant.
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the pandemic, which was obviously a huge challenge for everybody in tourism and hospitality. It looks like the finish line is in sight right now. So what is your outlook
Yes.
for your restaurant and for the hospitality industry in general in Maryland?
I just say that you have to just keep looking, like you said, towards the finish line, that bigger picture. It was very, very eye-opening once the shutdown happened. We were lucky to be able to stay open for carryout, and our community, again, because with that relationship that we've had within the community, they kept us going, they kept us busy. And I really think that the way that our management team came together, the owners, and just really came up with a plan. Like, there was days there, it was 3 people in there, and all of a sudden you're the one answering the phone, making the salads and running it out to the cars. And that it's very hard for a lot of restaurants that actually don't have the staff to do that. I just say we keep pushing. We changed our plan. We changed from just Lib's Grill restaurant to Lib's Grill curbside. That was the name of the restaurant for a few months, and we just kind of changed the business model. And I think that it's important that you get creative and not be discouraged, because we are going to get there. And for those in the industry, if they're still looking for something, there are plenty of sites and groups that are willing to help out the small business world as well as the restaurant world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that community involvement that you mentioned before is so important, because restaurants are more than just food and drink, right? They really are
Yes,
a part of the community.
absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that really actually drew me and made me really want to be a part of the restaurant was when I first sat down for my interview, the owner, he asked about goals, and it wasn't just what can you do for the restaurant, what are your interests in improving in the restaurant. It was about your personal goals. And I think that's important. You don't really come across questions like that, when you're thinking about a company or a position where you're serving food and drink. So that was important to me, to just kind of share what my personal goals would be, as well as what I felt like I could do for the restaurant and my goals for the restaurant would be. Absolutely.
Right. Now, as the general manager, you have responsibilities for hiring. What kind of advice would you give to someone that's interested in a career in hospitality?
I say you come in and you show yourself. You're going to be around people, so don't be afraid to be a people person. Just show your true colors. If that's it, smile often. And every day is the same yet different. Sometimes we are extremely busy, and other times you have that downtime. So there can be up and downs in the restaurant, but again, just being positive and just knowing that you actually are making a difference for some people. There's plenty of guests that come in and they could be having a bad day, and you can be that person to change that around for them.
Love that. So as a Marylander, what would you recommend a visitor must see when they come to our state? Obviously, they got to go to Libs and they got to get something
Absolutely. They have to come to Libs first, and then.
But after that, statewide, what's your
Yes.
favorite attraction? What's your can't miss attraction in Maryland?
So after dinner at Libs, a lot of guests do enjoy coming down to the city area for downtown, the harbor. There's the aquarium, the zoo, and a lot of restaurants downtown. And honestly, if you don't want to come to Libs, support a restaurant in Baltimore City. They need that help as well.
I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the best thing on Lib's menu?
Best thing on Lib's menu is the pork chop.
All right.
The bone-in pork chop. It's got apple butter, demi-glaze, sweet potatoes, and green beans. And it is a very large portion, and it's delicious.
Well, now I'm hungry. So
Yes.
we're going to wrap this up so I can go get something to eat. Dara, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.